What it do, Moody? Give you a little dap right here. Know you under the weather, but what's
Mhm.
up, man? How you doing? Welcome back, live in person episode.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's a change of season sickness, though. I feel
Yeah,
it's just been, getting warmer, which is a good thing. So I'll happily deal with it.
yeah. Even though we
Uh,
got projected snow coming in
yeah,
tomorrow,
yeah, I'll
but
be fine. I'm
yeah,
sure by the
it's
time the
nowhere.
snow,
It's not going to be nowhere near as bad as the last one
yeah,
because we're not going to have like freezing temps down to like zero
hmm
for a week straight, 2 weeks, 2 weeks straight. So, um,
this is our episode 85, our Ocho Cinco episode, our
yeah,
Antonio Gates episode.
yep.
So those are
Sure,
two
there's a
big
lot
ones.
more that we could think of. There's a lot to catch up on, but the biggest thing I think that came out was a lot of Rocket news.
hmm
KD, the team's play, just a lot of different things. I'm gonna give you an ISO for the Percy, but I do by the end of it, and hopefully this is the last part you end. What would be you feel like your top playoff positioning seed where you think you can actually make a run at? Like, if you had to organize it in the most optimal way, be
hmm
like from 1 to 8, what would be the playoff B seeding that it would have you perfect for to make a surprise run to the
Yeah.
Western Conference Finals? But I'll let you ISO about the events of the Rockets and what do you expect for them for the rest of the season?
Uh, I mean, well, let's just give a quick snapshot right now because we just passed All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
34-20, fourth in the West, 6-4 in the last 10. This has been like rough waters. I mean, however much stock you want to put in like the most recent news of like KD and his burner accounts and stuff
Mm-hmm.
is like me as a fan, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like KD.
You think it's KD?
You know what I'm saying?
Do you
Like,
think it is KD? Because there's a lot of people, especially within the media circles, that are like, "No, I know the way KD tweets and talks online. That's not KD."
yeah, I mean, I'm sure within the team is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
And the team don't give a fuck. So
You don't think Jabari is not
yeah, that's the real
offended?
question. That's
You think
the real
Elson
question.
Goon is not offended?
First of all, like nothing that account said wasn't facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Alp can't shoot. That's true. Like your franchise player can't shoot. That was one of the comments made from this burner. Get off my Dickerson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the thing is that it is believable because it's lockstep with KD's personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he speaks little, but when he speaks, it is potent. You know what I'm saying? And he got a quick wit about him too. Like who I am. I'm KD. Like he's quick with his tongue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's believable.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
which is why
sure.
immediately it's making all the headlines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The real question is like, out of everybody, yeah, like Jabari is like literally like mini KD. Like you're the reason I picked up a basketball type shit. Like the Rockets see Jabari as like trying to be KD. I mentioned this to you before, and it's like having the feel like the comment saying like, oh yeah, like Jabari and he like low key retarded. I'm like, I can see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's low key retarded KD, like because he ain't got as much juice on the ball. I mean, but once again, you're talking about a Hall of Famer. He's an all time great. You know what I'm saying? That's a hard comparison. You know what I'm saying? But for anybody. But anyway, and still I was like, don't trip. Like it has been rough waters, but we still top 5. We still 5th in offense and 5th in defense. New news after All-Star break, Amen. He is now eligible for 5 years, $252.
Yeah, and I saw a post on a general subreddit for NBA talking about is he worth that? And they were like,
ain't got no jumper,
they were like,
bro.
they didn't give Sengun the max.
Exactly.
And so it's like, what makes you think they're gonna give out Amen the max? And
yeah.
I'm like, that's a fair point.
Absolutely.
But again, like we're in a day and age where you gotta give basically the max.
Unless you're the Rockets.
Like I said, like when it came to Bradley Beal and the Wizards, I was like, I understand that's the max that you can get, but if you're serious trying to win a championship,
you ain't got to do that.
You don't have to do that. You could have easily taken 220.
Exactly. And like, let alone, once again, that's why I said, I mean, we have a well-run organization. I will cape for Raphael Stone because even with that, we still signed Jalen Green to an extension, and it was a 3-year. It was a 3-year, $100 million, and it's like, wow, you don't even hear about like you said, not the max at this point, especially he's a number 2 overall pick. He's getting the rookie max extension. Not in Houston, he ain't. and neither is LP. So, Amen, you ain't got no jumper, my nigga. Nah, sorry, you ain't getting 252. You can get an extension for sure. Like, the real question is, we just gave Jabari the 5 years to 250 or something like that. Like, very similar to this. So it's like, ain't room for both of them. That's really, what are we doing here? And at least as far as offseason looks, literally Alp and Jabari, their contracts add up to Giannis. It's just like a perfect.
You're saying Amen is on the trading block?
Not necessarily, but yeah, he could be. I'm saying you're making a choice between Jabari and Amen.
I wonder where he ranks on the Bill Simmons, like, trade list that they have on that website. Let's look that. I'll look that up real quick. But yeah, I'll ask then again. So with you were already kind of low how the season has been going prior to All-Star break and all the shenanigans.
Well, it was just recent lows.
Like you were kind of like, man, like we ain't living up to expectations. It feels like you're kind of disappointed right now in how the season's been playing out. With all the stuff that's happened this past week, how do you feel like you're projected to finish throughout the year? Like, how do you think, does it affect the team in a negative way? Is it going to be even more losses? Not your
more
losses,
times,
more losses that you shouldn't be taking against teams like Charlotte or whatever it may be, or the Wizards, and then again, where do you think is the best optimal playoff positioning? Do you think where do you think you're going to land at, and what do you think is the best optimal playoff seeding for everyone that gets you into a Western Conference?
I still think that I don't think it affects us as much as like it could just be a slump for us. And I don't think it's like, oh, some burner account shit came out and now we fucking up. You know what I'm saying? If we losing, then it's because of like what Ime has been saying, where it's like been an effort a whole lot of times on the defensive end. And then just to go to your point of like disappointment, yes, I am disappointed in the season. However, I told you I was expected to be disappointed this season because the only time ever in my life that I've called out of work for a sports was because the day before the NBA season, Fred VanVleet tore his ACL.
Yeah.
So this is still where I'm expecting to be. However, looking at the standings right now, the Lakers are only a half game behind us. They're 34-21. You got the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves is really the one I would have them jumping us before I would have the Lakers, but they're still 2 games back. But optimally, I could say, yeah, we can get back on track and still push for. I think we would push for the 2nd seed. I don't think we would necessarily catch the Spurs, but it depends on like if Victor keeps on his MVP type pace, which clearly he is right now. Like he's activated. We ain't catching them, I don't think.
Just to add the Ringers trade value rankings, they have LP and Amen in the same group category. Group D, the apron friendly untouchables. They have Sengun at 19. They have Amen at 16. So Amen is just outside of the non-apron friendly untouchables.
Okay.
So just give context as far as like going back to the trade. But yeah, playoff, because we're running long on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get back to what I want to say, but that's what I was thinking. 3rd, I mean, we can catch, like I said, the Nuggets. Jamal Murray's still been balling, and Jokic is still the best player in the world.
So OKC, who's two?
Spurs,
and
then it's Nuggets right now. Now it's us, Lakers, Timberwolves. That's the top 6.
Okay,
it's like I think we can catch.
I'm saying, but like, okay, so what do you think is the best seeding? Like, where do you think you're going to land?
Where do I think we're going to land? 4. I think we're going to land exactly.
What do you think is the
now.
optimal seeding and matchups that will get you to an NBA Western Conference Finals?
I mean, well, if that's the case, yeah, for sure. Don't nobody want to play the fucking Spurs, bro. Does KD win us against? The question is, can KD beat the Thunder with us? And it's like,
who can knock off? That's optimal like, positioning, because like that gets you to a different, ability of like, okay, maybe they can get knocked off by. Maybe they might have to play OKC in the, semis.
Yeah.
And they end up getting knocked out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody would want to play Minnesota either. So that's the tricky thing, because Minnesota's in 6. And so that's the Nuggets playing them right now. And the Timberwolves beat them last year. They've gone to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. We got to keep that in mind. Anthony Edwards is fucking real. So once again, the West is a beast, and it's like I don't want to play him. So the answer is either, like I said, the Timberwolves move up. I believe they're going to move up for sure. So we'll
be
probably
playing at a 5.
So they're either 5. So
you'll be playing them.
Yeah, we'll be playing them in the first round.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have KD beat the young boy. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. You the reason I picked up a basketball type shit. My favorite player. And LP can bust Rudy Gobert's ass for sure. But hey, shots got to fall from the outside. And speaking of
I wish this podcast was big that somebody would clip you.
Right.
And just be like, oh, what happened? What happened, Moody? I thought LP could bust Rudy's ass when fucking Rudy goes fucking 50 and 20
Rudy would
and
never. He would never.
10.
But my last notes, because I did have things that I wanted to say. Why is KD the only player over 80% from the line?
Because he's that nigga.
Looking up. No. That's some bullshit. I was pointing that out to you.
Oh, okay.
Everybody on the team is below 80% from the line.
My opinion about that, because I'm sure you guys are one of the highest 3-point shooting teams in the league, probably. And it's like, yeah, y'all take all these threes, but y'all can't make these damn free throws. It's like, that don't add up.
Like that. But we all got 4 players who are over 40% from 3. That was the difference, where it's like we're efficient from 3. Yeah. We don't take a lot of threes, but everybody's terrible from the line. And we are 3-6 against the top 3 in the West up to this point. What? So it's like that's why I said we not moving up. I don't see us moving up. Everybody's got the better.
We got a second half. You might get to 500 with that.
Yeah, I mean, we beat the Nuggets twice.
Yeah.
And they're the ones immediately in front of us.
Haven't beat the Spurs.
Yeah. We beat the Spurs once. We haven't beat the Thunder at all.
Beat the Thunder.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more about this later throughout the weekend, but let's get into this show, episode 85.
Yep.
Doors opening. Step back to allow customers to exit.
The crowd is hey, Samson, my tax partner.
Pro.
Weekly roll the avenue of wrestling. Episode 85 of the Wrestling Rehab podcast. We're on the road to the WWE Elimination Chamber, which is next week. We still got some qualifying matches that we got to talk through, which I felt like I said yesterday when we were watching SmackDown, I was like, I think somebody at WWE went back to listening to our podcast because they like our ideas, because we was like, yo, these Elimination Chamber qualifying matches, while good, are still very predictable on the outcomes. And I feel like this week we got a bunch of unpredictable, surprising outcomes in some of these Elimination Chamber matches. But yeah, let's get into the wrestling talk. The first thing we want to talk about is Bianca Belair, who on Sunday posted that she was doing surgery on her finger on Monday. She posted a picture of it, and also has if you go on our Instagram, it's a slideshow. One of the images is like, mostly you see the stitch, but if you open up the slideshow, you probably don't want to see it.
No, that's
it's
exactly
like busted ass open gash.
I'm already like cringing at this.
Yeah, but we talked about it before. You're like, I know you said it out of care and just like you want to see Bianca back wrestling, but you're like, yo, it's just a finger. It's just a finger. But if you read the description, especially how they describe it, I think she wrote it. She said something about this and they quoted her, but it was broken in 3 different places. It was like at WrestleMania, Rhea apparently just like landed on it at a certain point and it just like shattered her finger.
It was the spot when they were doing like the Tower of Power and Bianca was actually at the bottom and Rhea had Io in a suplex position, but as she fell back, she said she gripped her from the wrong side, which is why her hand was in the way. So when they all fell, Rhea just landed on her hand, and that's what it had. And immediately, went back and looked at it. And it's like, immediately she reacts and knows it's broken and shit. So yeah, clearly it was fucked up.
gnarly.
I mean, that knuckle was swollen as a bitch for sure. Like when you saw it, it was like, ugh, that's tough.
Yeah, she's doing surgery, rehab now, and she says, and finally we're here. Now I can finally start to get this part behind. So it's like it seems like we're progressing toward Bianca on the recovery path, which is great. And especially I think it's important because again, I think it's more set out of care and just the fans like appreciation for Bianca and what she brings to wrestling in general, being one of the best to do it. That is just like, yeah, it's just, like when you hear it's just a finger, you're like, come on now, a finger. At some point, you can't be out this long. You know, she hasn't wrestled since that match, and the fact that we all projected her to be at Rumble did not appear, and it's just like, yo, you still out with this finger? And it's like now that we get to actually see like what that injury that she's been going through is like, you're like, oh, okay. Like,
I mean, from the
and I'm not even like saying like I was on that side. I just understand it's like.
I mean, I'm
Just
saying
like,
from the jump, it's
a very serious like.
Of course, because ain't nobody fucking doctors, bro. we're selfish wrestling
we watch
fans.
we watch sports
We're
enough to be like, we
wrestling
see
fans.
football players that have finger injuries, and it's like they play with a splint or whatever, and it's like, okay, finger. We understand like through like armchair, doctors from watching sports enough to be like, oh, I can guesstimate.
And that's where I'm.
So when we hear finger, it's like, okay, I understand you hurt your finger. And it might be more severe than usual, but like a year, it's like the same thing when like Liv injured her shoulder on that move with Io or Kyrie, and it was like, yo, she just landed on it wrong, and then all of a sudden she needs surgery and is out for 6 months on a shoulder injury. Like, come on now, a shoulder, like she needed surgery on like a dislocated, and it's like it's just like no disrespect. Obviously, the injury is the injury. You know what I'm saying? It's more of just like sometimes things just work out differently.
And that's where I say we're selfish wrestling fans. Ain't nobody doctor. So as much as you give the preface of armchair doctoring, and niggas don't know shit, that's it. We're selfish. Get well soon, Bianca.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hopefully she's able to come back better than ever because, again,
immediately
also has to work on her grip, too.
Because
somebody was talking about just that as like a normal that had a similar injury, and they were like, yeah, like even just you don't realize the functionality of your fingers when you like,
yeah, it's probably nerve damage and all that shit. That's why she can't bend it. But my thought is to progress it with that because obviously we're beyond like get well soon. The only thing that makes sense is probably like she was like, all right, just like us, it's just a finger. We're going to try and let it heal naturally. And then it was just more complicated than you thought it was, which is why it took so long before she even got surgery. But anyway, her business is her business. So on Raw, I'm going to start this off. This is a double ranking right here. Because this is a top shelf thing that happened. I almost put this in presidential, but I was like, I don't have faith. I just can't have faith in WWE at all. But because the segment itself, I would have it as mid. But man, the top shelf thing, WWE listening to me and saying, just put subtitles on the goddamn screen. It doesn't matter. Like, we know these people like understand. I'm trying to remember. There's an anime where it's like, you can talk in what it's like Star Wars. There you go. That's the perfect one. Ooga booga chuga. What do you mean? They just understand each other. In the WWE universe, you can speak whatever language you want. They understand. They are speaking wrestling. That's why you can just yell in Spanish or Japanese. That's as far as it goes with me. And for them to finally give us like, hey, Stephanie's way more comfortable just speaking Spanish. Obviously, just give her the subtitles. You know what I'm saying? Simple
I think they did that. Did you watch that on WWE's YouTube channel or you saw that live?
No, I watched it live, yeah.
Okay, and you had the subtitles?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't watch it live. I caught the replay of the highlight clip of it. So I thought they added it afterwards, but...
But I thought it was great. This segment that I'm talking about is just the interview that's supposed to be happening with Liv Morgan and Dominic, but then Stephanie interrupts and says, hey, you don't work harder than me. Like, I had to get it out the mud from Chile. Basically just a regular face promo, but they were smart enough to just give us the subtitles.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, obviously, we don't just give us subtitles, and
Dominic was
they know the segment before they went out there.
Yeah, and Dominic's interpreting to Liv too. That was good too.
It's funny because I'm such like in kayfabe, like it doesn't matter to me where I'm like, Dom could have not been there to me. And like, but we understand that like Liv up to this point, her character, she's been like, I don't know what she's saying. So just to continue with that, obviously it makes sense. But either way, good segment, amazing addition. Hopefully just keep doing that. Yeah. Normally. And it didn't feel forced or anything.
No, that's why I kind of wanted to have it a primo, but I'm like, I like to see how far they go with this because I'm like, right now it's just good. It's a good start. And it really I think that was one of Stephanie's better promos just for the fact that, like, she was comfortable.
Exactly.
And it felt like you could feel the passion in what she was saying. How it was like, Because okay, part of it, I'm like, okay, like you saying that everything was handed to Liv. I'm like, nah, like Liv worked her ass off compared to like where she was in like NXT and then like the Riot Squad and then the point that she beat Ronda Rousey and whatnot to win her first championship. It's like, no, Liv greatly improved not only as a wrestler but as a character.
Oh, for sure.
And so it's like, I get what you're saying, Stephanie, where you're like, okay, you had everything handed to you and stuff like that. It's just, it's more promo. Apparently, Stephanie had to apologize because she said like they didn't have wrestling in Chile, and I'm like, and then she had to like, come on now, I'm like, I apologize, but you know, I was just caught up in the moment. But I'm like, I understand you're making a point in a promo. You're not saying that wrestling is non-existent in Chile, but I really enjoyed it, and I hope they're able to give Stephanie and other non-English first language speakers the opportunity to cut promos in their native language and just add subtitles. Like again, when Shinsuke is talking to Tama in Japanese and they're able to have that conversation, it's like, bro, like
Tama knows though. Yeah, he was over in New Japan. Yeah. So it's like you can just speak Japanese to Tama and just give us the that's a perfect situation that I would be talking about. Like, but yeah, and then also she crit on the intimidation. She caught her by surprise.
I didn't need the Liv crying part.
I thought it was. Yeah. I thought that was honestly not the best part. The subtitles was the best part.
Yeah.
But to make it effective in this story, where it's like Liv is so unbothered. You know what I mean? Where it's like, she has the choice of which champion she can pick and all this type of shit. But like, I think that's the first time that she's like been affected because she has been like dancing around. Oh, I got Daddy Dom, all this type of shit, and then Steph is like, nah, bitch, I see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I thought it was like really effective and like you said, one of her best promos because she's just speaking her native tongue. So,
I want to tag team this, but we have one of these matches. You have it as a primo, and I have it as a mid. But I want to talk about both of these Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. So the first one, which we split on, is Jevon getting the win over Dom and Gunther. And for me, this was a surprise. I was watching this with my mom because I just got back from the movie, so I caught the end of Raw and caught this match. And I was telling her, I was like, the way that Gunther is booked, he's not losing this match.
Exactly.
And the way the match was playing out, he was dominating for the most part. He was kicking both. Like, he's basically Obafemi to these dudes. Like, where
former two-time world champion, like, longest reigning IC
be winning
champion.
This match and being facing for a world championship match at WrestleMania. That did not happen. I was wrong.
That's why.
But I did preface it with her. I was like, unless something funny happens, where like something happens, I didn't expect Dragon Lee to come out, but Dragon Lee comes out, hits him with a ring bell, basically eliminates him for the match. Dom and Jevon go at it. Eventually, with Jevon coming out with the win, and I would consider a surprise.
No, absolutely. That's why it's a primo. Because we just had, because like I said, just to tag team it. In the other one, we had Asuka win, beating Bayley.
And that's not a surprise. And I'm like, it's a toss-up between Asuka and Bayley winning that match.
So that's not a surprise. That's not a surprise at all because Asuka has, even though Bayley has had her WrestleMania moment up to this point, I would still say that Asuka has been overall, I wouldn't say booked better, but like she's higher on the rankings still. Yeah. I mean, granted, that may be my rose-colored glasses because I think Asuka's the women's GOAT personally. And like in ring, that's hard to even question for real, But when we had this discussion, I was like, absolutely not. She's not an underdog in this. The only thing that would make her an underdog in this would be like, I don't know, like Kyrie turning on her, like whoever she has beef with. Like you said, the same thing with like somebody interfering with Gunther, which happened. There was no interference here, which is why we got the clean tap out from Bayley. That was what I was more surprised at. Because
that was surprising too,
because it's not Natty. Granted, you're trying to build the Natty character, so it's like, okay, cool. But as I mentioned to you yesterday, it's like, Bayley, she wasn't at Mania last year. She's used to getting bumped or off the crowd. She's the one woman that's not one of the horsewomen, out of the four.
I mean, she is a horsewoman, but she's not treated as
she is. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, I had that at mid just for, again, I thought it was pretty surprising. Not as surprising as Jevon, but I also have Jevon in the mid section just for the fact that he's not winning this. He's just in there for the high flying spot.
Oh, of course. You need to balance it. Wait, we got the whole...
Not yet. We have Bronson Reed has a qualifying match next week on Monday. And I think that's the last one because we'll get to the ones that happen on SmackDown. And then Jevon took this one. But I forget who the whole lineup is, but we'll get to it next week when we get the full card for Elimination Chamber and finally get points on the board. But
And
yeah,
last bit, not to mention, he pinned the freaking Intercontinental Champion,
dude,
Jevon. Or he pinned Gunther? Did he pin Gunther?
no, he pinned Dom.
That's what I'm saying. He pinned the Intercontinental Champion regardless. So I'm like,
so again, that's a feud too. That you
exactly
can get to where he can.
That's exactly what I was thinking because I'm like, obviously, like you said, he's not winning the Chamber, but after Mania, I can see that. Or maybe it is Mania.
Maybe Dom picks a fight with Jevon, and then they end up getting a Dom versus Jevon at Mania. Jevon at Mania would be dope.
That's that. Hey, maybe we're passing the torch a little bit.
Maybe that's the Rock Austin.
Yeah.
Rivalry of the next generation. Other things that I enjoyed, combining both of these because they're husband and wife, and they did the same thing. Promos from both CM Punk and AJ Styles, respectively, to Finn Balor and AJ Lee. Becky Lynch. My bad. Both of them were great. Mostly, I would say it's funny because the internet community is really down on AJ. And they're saying her promo skills suck and this, that, and the third and what. And I'm like, I don't pay any mind to it. It doesn't bother me. I get it. It's a little cheesy, but sure. But like, I think again, she's coming back from 10 years. Like, she's trying to play a different character and not necessarily the same because again, she's a grown person now. She's like writes children's books and things of that nature. So it doesn't bother me. I still enjoy it. But Becky is still the reason why this is not a shake.
Yeah.
Because it's a normal promo, but Becky is just so good at just playing this character. Like, this might be some of her best work that she's done in her career.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that for sure. Like, I don't think you have to say it might be. It is.
I mean, you have to really just be, judicial about it and like look through, the actual career. And
all right, so let's do it right now.
I was saying judicial. This is not a quick process. Like, I need to go back and think about the matches and all that stuff.
Bro, it is quick. The biggest moment of her career is Becky 2 belts. All right, bang, you got that. You got the evolution of the man.
That Becky 2 belts or her getting punched in the nose and bleeding?
No, Becky 2 belts winning at Mania is the biggest moment of her career.
Okay.
And then, sure, you could say another, like, that's probably in the top 5 for sure. Getting punched in the face, making the man. Prime Man is going to be top 3. This is probably 2 right now. Just building the women's IC title. I would say this is the number 2. Like, this character work is the second best thing of her career. I mean, you could have like it's hard to imagine a bigger match than she's not going to outdo that Mania, winning the first women's triple threat, I think that's just going to stand there unless you get some, Bianca and Rhea. I mean, we just got that in like this past Mania, but that was EO and them. So it's like, she's a different generation, but what she's doing right now, absolutely. Now this is big time Bex. So I got big time Bex over the making of the man right now for sure. And then Irish last kicker, you're outside looking in like 6.
Okay.
Easy. Bang. All right. Let's see. I just did.
But and then mostly is that elevated by AJ Lee. The CM Punk fan promo I thought was also really great. And that one obviously had better dialogue between both of them and just the history between them and whatnot. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. I don't think Finn's going to win this, but I feel like maybe Finn gets screwed. The way
you feel that right now? By Judgment Day?
Like, because the fact that Finn talked about he was one of the only people to beat Roman Reigns, I think is going to bother Roman Reigns.
Okay.
And maybe he interferes and costs Finn the match.
Okay.
And maybe, do we get a triple threat? Finn Balor, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns?
Oh, just, okay, now it's all right. Thank you. All right.
And maybe you treat Finn Balor as like,
sure,
Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30.
Yeah, you had to give me the the home run at the end. I didn't know where you were going. I was like, why would Roman interfere in this? And
because
then
again, Roman's egotistical. So I said,
I get it.
Comment that
after you
Finn made that
after you finish it at Mania, that's where I was
Roman
getting
Reigns already.
That's what I was getting it at Mania.
Yeah,
that's where I was getting. I was like, why would he interfere in this? But pushing Finn into Mania. Yeah, that's a great booking. Yeah. Okay, I see it now. But as you were taking me there, I was like, nah, like he's already got the Mania match. Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? But if it's the obvious, keep my name out your mouth, then sure, I mean, you can get into Mania for dumber reasons because Rhea was just throwing a temper tantrum like last year. That's how she got into Mania.
After losing
You know
her
what I'm
title,
saying?
because she was
Yeah.
it was booked Becky versus not Becky, Rhea versus Bianca, and then
Io won. Yeah.
Io won the title the next night after Bianca won the Elimination Chamber, and so
and the booking was Io being the third wheel, and so.
And
the last thing you had for Shake?
Yeah, Penta getting the win over El Grande Americano and becoming the number 1 contender. Yeah, it's a match. I really don't care. Again, the El Grande stuff, because this obviously had interference from the OG El Grande Americano. I'm just here for the match. Just get to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's, same shit, different week. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. But like I said, when the match gets here, I'll really enjoy it. Anything else from Monday night?
That was the second appearance of Original, right? El Grande.
Maybe I feel like maybe third because we feel like we've seen him now.
Okay,
but yeah, well, again, that's gonna be a Mania match.
Yeah, the mask for mask match.
Let's hop over to the Bodega NXT.
Yo, I'm calling that match. I think, Ludwig wins that. Ludwig El Grande would win that because you're freeing up Chad Gable for, a different
People, apparently
character.
the Mexican
and
audience,
it's super over. Yeah, I was gonna say he's super
him
over
more, and so it's like, okay,
yeah, and he's actually probably. I mean, he's European, so he's probably super fluent. Right? I watched a bit of.
He speaks it.
Yeah, I was watching some AAA clips, and like he speaks so well that I would think that it's like he's not just memorizing that phonetically. You know what I'm saying? So he actually knows. But yeah, the fact that he's featured on AAA, because now that's become like, its own, obviously under TKO brand.
They promoted it, and they were saying that's you can watch it on Saturdays at 8 p.m. on their YouTube channel.
Exactly. I
can't believe I just gave promo. They didn't even need
it. Yeah, I have been watching it too, and he was they go crazy for him, and it stays mostly in the Southwest and in Mexico and stuff. So, but yeah, that was Raw.
Bodega NXT. I thought this was a better show. I thought we were finally getting some structure to what's happening as far as like where they want to take us. Start off with Kalani getting the win over Lola. I like this, and I think this is more not just for the match. The match is pretty good, in spots. But I really, because I feel like knowing that Lola is a former mixed martial arts fighter, and she has that to her gimmick and whatnot, even though she's like super attractive and like pretty Latina, that she is she's a badass. She can actually fight, and I do think Kalani with her heel turn, I do think this is a good way to kind of get over like Kalani also being a badass and not just like a former gymnast or cheerleader, whatever she wasn't back in college and whatnot. And she's played the face really well, but the heel needs a little bit of believability. And I think it's similar to maybe what happened to The Rock when he was facing Mankind, whereas like we need you to kind of like not brushing up, but like get some rub on like a character like Mick, who can accentuate some of the physicality that you might not naturally show as like your character might imply. But we need to show that The Rock could also be like really aggressive and brutal when he has to be. And so I think that's what kind of you're getting with this feud with Lola. I just worry about. I just don't like to see like because I feel like Lola should have been had a title reign at some point. That I'm like,
Lola
how many times are you going to be just taking L's?
She should win this feud. Like the overall end of this feud, Lola wins right now.
She should. I feel like she's supposed to be the face. She's definitely the face.
Not that you feel like she is. Yeah,
but
Kaylani's beating the shit out of her hands and jumping her in matches. Yes, Kaylani's a heel.
I just hope it works her way to at least holding a title, but like,
for Lola.
I feel like she's almost been due to be at the main roster at this point. But I'm like, I can understand you probably having another year, maybe like at least old North American title. But I think at this point you should be striving for the women's NXT championship. And so she's had opportunities to have those, matches for the title, but just never ends up winning it. So I'm like, I feel like at some point she has to win it, right?
I mean, her and Jada are in the same position, like where it's like clearly
Yeah.
Jada had always put herself in the women's like top title conversation, whereas Lola, I mean, she's had shots at the top title, multiple, but I think it's just because probably she's smaller, North American. That I see her more of as like the North. Yeah, she should win the North American title at some point in time. But yeah, they're both like where it's like, all right, they've been here for like, I mean, Jada has been on there definitely shorter amount of time
Yeah,
than Lola.
Lola had a fight with like Shayna Baszler.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was like, she's been in. I feel like she's been on NXT past overdue.
Yeah,
That she should be at the main roster, but I'm like, you still haven't won a main title.
yeah.
So it's like,
How
okay,
does that character
not
translate on the main
everybody went
roster?
to main title. Like Becky, did she win a main title?
No, she didn't. Exactly.
Until she got to the main roster. So it's like, not
Mhm.
everybody needs to win a main title, but I feel like at some point you should be on SmackDown with Damian Priest because that's who you're dating right now. So I'm like, you should be called up to the main roster and be on SmackDown. But I don't know. I can also see her being another year and actually finally holding a title reign. But I enjoyed the match because I feel like I understand where we're going with at least Kalani's character. I just hope it doesn't impact Lola in that way. But I do agree with you though, as you say out loud, that Lola probably ends up winning this feud.
That's also why it was the top thing that I had ranked on the show, because this is the one that I feel like actually has story as compared to the other things. You know what I'm saying? Versus things just happening.
Well, I'm not mad at the other mid too of Vanity Project becoming the number one contenders because I mean they won the Fatal 4-Way against Hank and Tank. You had OTM and one more.
The Culling.
And so I'm like, okay, out of any three of them, maybe Hank and Tank is probably 2 fighting for 3, but I would put OTM ahead of them. And I feel like Vanity Project I feel like it could have been either OTM or Vanity Project, but I'm kind of glad that they went with OTM just because younger, more personality, and
Vanity Project.
Yeah, that's what I said. Vanity Project. I forgot what I said.
OTM.
Yeah, I felt like it's up between both of them. I would probably go with Vanity Project. Winning that, but I wouldn't be surprised if OTM had won it. But yeah, Vanity Project has a lot more personality, and Jackson Drake has a title, so having them be arrogant with their titles will be a fun bit. So looking forward to see how that plays out for them.
Because I would like to see the Culling win, but the thing is like they've been like, with the exception of like I think it was a 2-week reign that Shawn Spears had with the North American title, like they've been so far in the back of my mind. With the except like I see them mostly at this point like the support for Izzy thing. That's all that they are.
That's not bad.
Like, no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's why I wouldn't have them as like winning. But and then I agree with like the OTM like very similarly where it's like, oh yeah, I remember one of their name is like Lucian because it sounds like that's like a werewolf.
Price and Bronco
something. Yeah, that's right. And I'm like the same thing, very similarly, where it's like the charismatic center
Bronco
of
Mima,
this.
I think
The charismatic center of that group is Jada Parker, who is like very similar to Lola, where it's like
anymore.
not failure to launch, but like we feel like she should be pushed further up. And that's a get well soon for her too. I think she has a neck injury.
Yeah, because I told you last week the spot where like it was a botch kind of like suplex and like she kind of like landed on her neck. It's like they worked that like that was real, but then again she was already kicking dudes like your Jacksonville Jaguars kicker.
Oh yeah, she should be suspended.
Like she was suspended as well. That was announced as well. But get well soon, Jada, because. Yeah, that like when I don't know if you saw the spot eventually, but yeah, that was
I did.
Other thing that we agreed upon as a mid, Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight come to a draw in their Speed #1 contenders match to face Jasper Troy. The match was so great, which I think was probably the best wrestling on the card. Robert Stone came out and was saying that, like, yeah, just because the match is so great, we need to basically make it a triple threat for the first time ever, a triple threat speed tournament match that is going to be 7 minutes long.
Yeah, because we actually
instead of the typical 5 minutes that I guess the championship match is on.
Oh yeah, for the championship.
The championship matches apparently I guess they run for 5 in the regular qualifying match.
Previously, like they just make up the rules whenever they want. Speed matches are always 3 minutes long. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's like it doesn't, because as good as this match was, in that 3 minutes until a draw, like me just being a wrestling fan in general, we're about to get to AEW. I'm like, bro, that's the beginning of our AEW match. You know what I'm saying?
This is why it's like this is probably the highest you could ever get.
As
a speed match is what we got with this match.
Exactly, and it also pushes it into like, okay, we'll actually get like 7 minutes. Ain't even gonna be crazy, but like I'm sure it's just gonna be a breakneck pace. 7 minutes, you know, them sprinting around, like basically. Relatively like similar to like the X Division. They just kind of put their time limit on it though.
Yeah. So that was fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that match plays out.
And Jasper Shore came in after the draw. I say no. I mean, I guess you could wait for a bigger moment for, you know, Elio. Elio's definitely next, I think. I mean, you bring over a French luchador. That's the first. You invented a new Pokemon. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a legendary Pokemon. Like, just give him the title and like we see how like cool he looks, and it is unique offense. It's almost I
feel like he could get the surprise win.
I mean, and then also it's not like it's the North American title. Like,
yeah, but again, if you want to elevate it, you put it on this dude.
But, well, yeah, for sure, yeah, for sure. But once again, how much do you want to like really try to convince me that there's like, I guess, a story here? Because I feel like if you try to build a story, that would be a misstep because you're holding yourself into 3 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
Like something like this is probably as good as a speed match will ever get at 7 minutes.
Yeah, but he can still hold that speed title and be like so Ruka and
no, I'm not saying that's negative. I'm saying that there's not going to be a higher high than this with the speed title at all. Like in the future. Like, there's not going to be a crowning.
You need the right person.
Well, sure. We're talking about if somebody is that amazing, they're not going to be going for the speed title, though. This is a guy that
but he's just coming in.
That's my point, is that we have never heard of him, which is why you can give him the speed title. But if we've heard of somebody and we know they're legit and they're high flying and they're breakneck pace, they're not going to be in the speed fucking. Why would you do that when you can give them the North American or, you know, at least the North American division? You know what I'm saying? A speed title is like, yes, I agree. You could be establishing this. You could be doing that right now, and it works because we've never heard of this man. Like,
but what about if he wins the speed title and then wins the North American? And like in that sense, you could look at the North American as like, yo, he's putting on like 20-minute bangers and still coming out on top. But then he could still win a match in 3 to 5 minutes.
I think that elevates him. I don't think that does anything for the speed title at that point in time. But like, yeah, he's amazing.
I mean,
because the next person who he would give that to, are they going to do that? Hopefully.
That doesn't matter, but at least you're holding credibility to the title.
But it does matter because we're talking about the title.
You're building credibility to a title.
That's what I'm saying.
Like in order to beat this man that can run a 20-minute Iron Man match, but also whip your ass in 3 to 5 minutes. It's like, yo, and you end up beating this man within that time limit span.
It could.
That's impressive.
Sure, obviously. That's a whole lot of story that we give into 3-minute matches. That's why I said it might be a misstep. And that's why I say this is probably going to be the best that it ever gets.
I would agree with that too. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to make it work.
Yeah, sure.
So that's where I leave it at. Again, it's early, but the match itself was great.
Probably I mean, right now, I'll tell you right now, right? Like, he is the most like, as far as like new characters on NXT, he is the most interesting. He's the one who has, as far as eyes, the highest potential. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't know shit. And so far, I love his fucking finisher, that like tilt-a-whirl, like cross arm breaker he lands you in. You know what I'm saying? For a 1, 2, 3, it's like kind of cool. So, hey, more power to him. But I added, I know you I just dittoed your mids because you beat me to it, but I added some shake up here. Ricky Saints just giving us like basically the main event for NXT Judgment Day. Vengeance Day, excuse me. Yeah. Get my WWE
pay-per-view.
Yeah, properties mixed up. Yeah. But yeah, Ricky challenging Joe Hendry. Cool. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And a great promo from Ricky, obviously. I mean, he's the best talker on NXT, probably. Him and Ethan. And
again, that's why the internet community is like not a real place, because it's like people were down on Ricky's promos. They were like, he's gotten worse and stale and, you know, whatnot. So
there's nothing wrong with taking a second to like remember. Obviously, we're human. So it's like, I'll give you that like 2.5, 3 seconds, or it's like, fuck it, I'll just go to the next line. Because you can see that happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't hold, obviously, there's something to a flow. Like you get a half point knocked off for that though. Just thinking through your lines, because you could also become more methodical, like Roman Reigns. Like as much as he be like even in the middle of being the tribal chief and champion of both brands and holding 3 titles, there was times when he was like, oh, I'm not gonna say not the sharpest, but he's gonna sit on his thoughts for a second, like, oh, how do I want to orient this? You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like I'm just reading a script. It is this character saying something. So, because I really think like you're so in character, you're like, how does Ricky Saints respond? How does the tribal chief respond? Versus just letting things fly off the handle, which might be more natural when you're CM Punk because you have been CM Punk is just yourself, for the most part. But anyway, good. You just gave us the main event: Ricky versus Joe Hendry at Vengeance Day, and then also shake because we know where this is going. Zarya making the save against or for Sol Ruka against Fatal Influence because
teased a little bit that she might turn on her.
They were like bullying her as they should because they're a heel faction, saying like, "Hey, your girl ain't got your back," and then they prove, or Zarya proves them wrong.
Yeah,
give a stiff spear. Love a Zarya spear. She's probably got the best woman spear. I feel confident saying that. Like I'm saying in any brand.
Okay.
Because I know that's saying something with Charlotte. Charlotte's is so. I think she's so lanky that it's kind of
comes off as like edge.
Exactly. Yeah. Hers is more like an edge spear, but like Zarya, even though she's not as
she does it better than Edge.
Yeah, exactly. She does. She's not as explosive as Braun Breaker, but it's very modeled in that same way. Like it's more of a Goldberg Braun Breaker spear that I enjoy. So do the spear more, Zarya. And yeah, so we make the save. So just we're still friends until we ain't for the time.
I'm just saying, get to it. This is taking too long for me right now.
Yeah,
get to where we're getting at. Like if you stay together, if you break up, I don't care at this point. Just get to the fucking end, to the finality of this storyline, and like let's progress because you're milking it. I think for my opinion. Yeah. Anything else from the bodega?
No, that's it for me.
So we're over the coffee shop. A B minus, I think, 8 Bleacher Board gave for this episode, which I'm like, I get it. You just came from Australia, like, bro, like not, and they've been hitting. Like, this is still a great episode for AEW. But yeah, like I actually watched this live because I didn't have a movie that day, surprisingly, and I was watching Sinners at the same time, but this didn't keep my attention. The thing that kept my attention the most, which ironically after Sinners was finished, was what you have as a primo, and I guess I would tend to agree with you. I have it currently as mid, but I would pump it up to a primo. Is the Swerve Omega first time ever match that they've had on Dynamite this week. I initially had as a mid, and I'll say it's unfair of the match. It's the start time.
Because it started so late?
It started at 9:50.
Yeah.
But the match went overtime. Not like in like that.
Or the whole segment definitely went overtime.
It finished at 10:20. And I'm like, I'm grading on that, watching it real time, but I'm like, if I'm just watching it on a replay or whatever, it's like, that's fine. But I was like, yo, that's annoying that this show went 20 minutes over.
Yeah, because you're thinking that, you're like, okay. I mean, it's funny to think that because like this is not a complaint, but you pointed this out like, yo, we're getting this on network television. Granted, and they built it up very well, even just this being the first time. So the fact that it's like, all right, you're going into this thinking like, all right, we got a 10-minute window that we're gonna finish. But instead,
maybe 10:05 at the most. They give went to 10:20.
Instead, they give you like the pay-per-view match and the angle at the end, and it's like, I don't.
You went 20 minutes over. That's crazy.
It's interesting to think that you would grade down for that because it's like you're on the network side or something. Like, you can. That's weird as fuck.
I'm trying to change the channel here. Like,
if it's so good, it's making you stay there. Then that's saying something.
It's not fair. That's why I said this match easily could have finished within time if they cut other segments down, or some matches finished it earlier.
You want to watch something
if this
else
match
so
started
bad.
like I guess it had to start at 9:30. Fine.
Yeah, because you're going off with that. You're just like, oh shit, it's 30 minutes, like no commercials.
But I guess it works because like it's like, oh, this show's supposed to finish at 10.
Yeah.
I know the finish is coming. I didn't know the match is going to finish at 10:20.
The owner is one of the richest people in the West. And
That's
he can just buy more TV
I
time.
bumped it up the primo because it was a great match, initial match, and it could only get better. So they're probably going to get presidential.
I'm gonna argue from your perspective, this should low key be a top shelf because you pay attention to like the media and shit so much that they subvert. Like Tony Khan subverted your knowledge of the wrestling show with his wallet and gave you a pay-per-view match, and you're like low-key annoyed because you can't change the channel. That's a great moment. That's a great moment. But yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, Primo, definitely almost even top shelf, like you said. But I do think like this is round one.
Oh,
and the way that he took out Kenny. You didn't even mention Aubrey Edwards getting pulled in.
That was awesome. Love it.
Dead.
Yeah.
No help from the EMTs. I'm like, yo, like, I get like the match is gonna continue. You bring another rep, but like, can EMT like bring out the?
Her corpse is just there.
They're just knocked the fuck out.
Just dead. Yeah.
Like so, but no, great. Swerve ends up. I guess. Did you say he's heel or? Is
he's a heel. That's why. That's why I wrote
a heel approach. But I guess the beatdown afterwards.
This is heel Swerve.
If he didn't do the vertebrator, whatever he did, through the table, would he have been a heel? Or if he just went out with just pulling out Aubrey Edwards?
Well, the thing about turning characters when you care about them so much, like Swerve, is that you're gonna need the exclamation point, right? Like, or it's not gonna work. That's why I asked you about like, could Rhea turn on Io right now, and are we gonna care? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Are we gonna boo her? Because it's like you're gonna have to really do damage, and you're like, oh, you're not even sure about that. And Io is over as fuck. So very similarly, I think Swerve needed the exclamation point.
Also racism, but yeah.
Well, true, yeah. In a factual sense, in WWE, you like to think that it's not as much.
Even just societal. It doesn't have to be WWE. Just
true,
you're gonna pick the white woman over the Asian woman.
Exactly.
Speak English.
Exactly.
That's racism.
Yeah, but to have like Swerve, like you said, go over like Kenny Omega is like, let alone like one of the founding fathers, and like Cody's not here. He's the beating heart spirit of AEW. I would argue. If it's not him, then it's Hangman. You know what I'm saying? Hangman,
cover their video game, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the fact that like Swerve puts him through the table, but then it's not just that, because it's like, oh shit, you know, he's getting holy shit chants, all this stuff.
Yeah.
After already, like you said, or just to answer your question, just the heelish approach, pulling Aubrey Edwards into it, which I think is great because Aubrey is the most beloved of all the refs. She's the most protected one. So the fact that they did it to her, I'm like, fuck, like low key a dash of like, that's more heel shit. Like, but
was Nana encouraging it when he like took the chain, or was he like, damn, like what are you doing?
No, that was I think Swerve was more aggressive with him. Like he was gonna give it to him, but it wasn't quick enough. So Swerve was like, give me this shit. He was like, yeah, all right, man. Like, my bad, nigga. Yeah. So it's like that's just how turned up he was.
Don't come at me. I'm with you, nigga. Like, relax.
The reason I really think is a heel is because what he said afterwards. He says, I needed this. You know, like I needed a reason to get up. Basically, that's how I read it. Like, oh, Kenny, you gonna be in my fucking way? Like, all right, I need a reminder of like who I am.
Yeah,
I'll fucking kill you. So, and also Kenny, not for nothing. Like, I think I said this last pod, but like, we're pretty sure that Kenny will win the title. He's got like a whole year. His storyline, because he's got to fight his way up, so he'll probably lose and then win. You know, he's got to fight through the tower of AEW. Probably you get Swerve, and then I don't know, some other top heels. Maybe MJF loses the title before Kenny can get to him. So maybe you got to beat MJF. You got to beat
like it's a 4-way between these guys. Maybe not. We're not probably gonna have the match, but as far as the story arc of the AEW World Title, it's tied around these 4 men.
Yeah.
And you're going to have all types of machinations between them. And, you know, the fact that Kenny, apparently I think he has a conflict that he's not going to be at Revolution. He's kind of basically ran off of television, I guess you could say for now, trying to recover.
It's interesting because Will Ospreay obviously isn't there, but he's part of it. Because right now the seeding of like because you got obviously Hangman 1 right now. Swerve, with this episode.
You might add a 5th then, yeah.
Swerve just jumped. He's like, nah, bro, I'm jumping you, Kenny Omega. Like, I don't give a fuck that you just returned and you care about the title. I need this
That's why
shit.
I think Kenny is gonna have the fucking and what Hangman had last year. Kenny
will get that next
He's
year.
gonna have, like I said, by
or the end of the year
by World's End.
World's End, yeah.
He's gonna get that.
Yeah, because he did. Yeah, he came in. January.
Yeah,
like saying this. So yeah, he's got a year-long storyline. I agree. But yeah, that was the best thing that happened to me
for sure. I think it's probably the best thing this week. Again, as AEW continues to. If this was like the Monday Night Wars and you had the ratings recap, I'm like, if you were talking about like just like I think AEW's kind of had a streak on just far as
this actually,
having the best show of the week.
This is a good segue.
And this goes back to before they even won our best show of the year.
We were saying that, and then even
at the Uppies.
And it's funny that we got our own awards because we can compare notes with like Bleacher Report or like what is it, PWI and shit.
And all that. Yeah,
but they agreed that everybody agreed unanimously last year as Dynamite. But just a slight segue to my Reggie, that this was the most Reggie episode so far of the year, where it's like Swerve, this segment, or not the segment, but the match into like Swerve heel turn, like new motivated Swerve, I believe, hopefully it's not wasted. That's the only thing keeping this whole thing afloat for the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the next thing, another segue.
And I would agree with you. I think Reggie's harsh, but I understand why you put it there. I probably have it at Shake just for the fact that you just came from Australia.
Yeah.
I'm forgiving. And this show
Shake is right. Yeah.
This show is still better than what WWE's been putting out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I don't disagree with you putting it in Reggie. I'm not going to fight with you about it. Personally, I'd probably have it at Shake.
Yeah.
But
I guess that's the point.
Other parts, I really didn't care. Like Willow retaining over a random 4-way that just pops up out of nowhere. Match was entertaining. I didn't think Willow was probably. Maybe you might have had Megan Bain win, possibly. Yeah. I didn't think she was going to lose, but I would probably agree with you having it mid. Kevin Knight beats Mortos. I guess beats Mortos. This is I probably at best have this at Shake just for the fact that I'm like, okay, you're telling me you don't believe in beats Mortos
ever. Like, he loses every time.
Yeah,
like unless it's.
I can't think of the last time
it's Ring of Honor.
What is this dude's record?
They don't pop it up unless it's Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
like because that's the thing. The rest of Don Callis family and like the people that we know like are in catering for AEW. More of the time they're featured on Ring of Honor, which we're not watching the majority of the time. But that's where you see like Rocky Romero and Lance Archer and Beast Mortos actually get a win.
The C squad of Don Callis family. Yeah,
exactly. That's where Beast Mortos will get a win. But on AEW, dog. That's just like that's why my heart still burns.
Because I like Beast Mortos, but I'm like,
I love Beast Mortos. I pointed him out to you. I was like, yo, he's an amazing bass. He's one of the best basses right now in wrestling for sure. And it's like, once again, it's like Athena. Like, goddamn, like do y'all understand this woman is over 1,000 days? Like, I'm gonna keep that fire burning for the forever champion. But anyway, but I guess I'll rephrase it. It's not it's Reggie because, or what I'm trying to say is, it's the most Shake so far this year. It's a noticeable low. Yeah. From the streak that we've been on. Yeah. That's all I'm trying to say.
I can forgive. Like if this felt like off if they didn't come from Australia, I'd probably keep it at. I'd agree with you on Reggie. I'm giving them grace because they came from Australia and they've had a lot. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, because this would have been effectively like a SmackDown, a regular mid-level SmackDown with like the best thing being the US title match. Yeah. Effectively. That's what the equivalent would be. Because Willow, as that match was happening, I enjoyed the match, but like as I'm watching, I'm like, who's gonna win? Because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I would like Marina to have it the most out of these other three, but I'm like, Megan Bain, sure, she's imposing.
But like, did I think they were gonna do it tonight?
Exactly, and
this randomly popped up. Like, I don't even know how we got here.
And that's exactly the point where I'm like, because in my mind, I'm like, is this just about getting the title off of Willow because she's tag team champion? Because we want to do more with the Babes of Wrath, that we're going to give it to a singles woman. And that's why I would think Marina was going to get it.
Yeah, but Mega Bad is fighting for the tag team championships. Like that.
Well, exactly. That's why she would be out. And that's why I would have Mina. Because Mina, or not Marina, excuse me. Because Marina doesn't have a tag team. Or she did, it would be like mega problems. But that's, she teamed up with Penelope Ford, Megan Bain. So. But anyway, Kevin Knight and Beast Mortos, just a good match.
Good match, but again, too good to me. Beast Mortos, I guess, is not going to win.
He's never going to win. But yeah, just too good for me to put it in Shake because it's just really good.
I would possibly bump up Hangman to MJF. You have this as Shake. I would possibly bump this up to mid, but I'm not as scarred as people are with the I'm never challenging for the AEW championship ever in my life again bit. That it seems like, because again, I know what that's related to, but I wasn't actively watching AEW the way that I am watching it now. So when Cody did it, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, I'm aware of it. I think we probably talked about it when it happened, when we were doing this podcast, when our like test runs or some shit like that. But I'm like, okay, yeah, this has been that's an interesting aspect to add on top of a Texas Death Match. So I would possibly, and I thought the promo was pretty good, that I'd bump this up to a mid.
It's interesting because when you give a line like that, when it's like just on, first of all, Hangman, you already like earned your shot. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like an unnecessary risk. Like, why are you? I mean, you're just upping the ante just cause. Effectively,
down, man. Like,
where
they
it's
have like gambling themed named.
I mean, sure. This one is Revolution, so the fact that you didn't do it at all in,
you got to
double or nothing.
Yeah, you got to,
Like,
honestly.
So that's where it doesn't even to go with that. You should do it at one of those shows. But that's where it's like, to me, it just rings like this. Those words are meant to ring on the ears of wrestling fans like you and me specifically, because it's supposed to get our gears turning and being like, there's no way that they do this, right?
I mean, they said that for Cody, right?
Well, that's the thing where it's like, well, we would have Hangman's got to win, right? You know, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's like, I mean, because we're both fine with MJF losing the title right now.
Would you be surprised if Swerve cost them, knowing that like that just takes one person off the board?
No, I wouldn't, because Swerve is a heel now.
Yeah.
So if all of that is just, and
strategy.
like I said, hey, Swerve and Hangman, what we got in 2024 from them is biblical. Like, we can know that this can always go back to the cement. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe Swerve fucking helps Hangman because, or actually, no, I take that back. You're right. Maybe he just stabs him in the back and like helps MJF just to get him out of the picture, like forever.
Because we talk about and 4, and then that's how you add an Osprey to be like, oh, we thought it was going to go down to just you,
Swerve,
and Omega.
Swerve and Omega,
I was like, nah, we added Osprey into it now.
I told you, Kyle Fletcher should be elevated, but I like what you're saying because we got the big 4 for the year. Very similar to like what, you know, WWE does the SmackDown and Raw after Mania. Like I mentioned last year, they show you who they want you to pay attention to that very next week. Like this is because we got everybody's attention. So, but good stuff.
Yeah, I bumped that to a mid, but you keep it still at a Shake?
Well, yeah, the shake of it was, how about we let the people decide? And then there was Texas Death Match. So I was like, not only that, like you gave us like, it's not a double down, it's a triple down.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like it was, I'm not gonna say overdone, but like it's a as scrappy as the Hangman character is, and as much as he fights for the title and stuff, like you should know not to like waste opportunities and stuff. So it's just like I can't wrap my mind around this except for dumb face. You know what I'm saying? For you to just because you want to do Texas Death Match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's the reason why. He says, I want to do a stipulation, and then MJF is like, why? And then he says, okay, yeah, I'll put my career on the line. Or not the career, but I'll put my championship contendership on the line. So I can have home
for
field.
life, not even for when he holds the title. It's ever.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Is that he said
ever.
Forever. Yeah,
forever.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's why I like MJF in this moment, because he's like, you got a damn deal. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, just eliminate a top contender forever? Like, yeah. And then it's like, is his mission to, because it's like, what is Hangman doing? If we're saying he's an AEW lifer, if he's not going to WWE, then it's like, what is he doing? Are you just elevating the Continental?
Yeah. Maybe
tough, man.
Maybe
that's where I'm like,
maybe he figures out a way that he could just challenge to get his contendership back.
I'm thinking maybe, you know, Swerve might fucking big pressure or stomp his ass into WWE. I don't know what his contract shit is, but right now, I mean, Hangman is at his top right, obviously, as much as people have ever cared about him. It would feel weird. I mean, because he's AEW homegrown, so that would be weird to me. I would hope that he signs another deal.
I can see WWE thinking dollars with that cowboy shit.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm like, maybe, they
specifically cowboy shit as a trademark and selling T-shirts and you know,
for sure. And that, so yeah, because you can eliminate him, and then like maybe he eliminates him from Swerve eliminates Hangman from contention.
Mm-hmm.
He sticks around. Maybe he still actually has like a year on the contract, and then his last act is to fucking, screw Swerve, I guess, or like beat the shit out of him. And then he's in WWE because that's what comes to mind. I haven't thought about it all the way through, except for like, would they do this? And now I'm thinking with Hangman, what's his contract situation? Because I think that's a pretty big percentage of the pie chart.
You think it's that connected that him taking this type of match would be him possibly leaving and not just,
you
don't think there is no way ever that he could ever get his contendership back just through fighting another match?
I mean, sure, kayfabe is kayfabe, but like, I mean, if we're gonna believe it on its face, like you said, it's not just for MJF's reign; it's ever. So if we're gonna do that, then I think you have to like sort of die and come back between companies, or die and come back in character. You know what I mean?
So he can't have like an eliminator match. That's all I'm just saying. But
yeah, I mean,
not trying to beleaguer the conversation. I'm just saying, like, maybe there's a way. It's just like, oh wow, we're at like doom's end with Hangman. He doesn't fight for the championship for 2 years, and then eventually he goes somebody into giving him like an eliminator match.
I get you.
That he eventually ends up getting back his contendership.
I understand
privileges.
I definitely agree with you. And kayfabe is kayfabe. It would be stupid of me to nitpick that if he couldn't contend for like 2 or 3 years and then he gets another title match. But my thought is just like, how can you logically make that? Because I think like you're just gonna be the person with the scarlet letter on you. It's like if you're a champion. Like, I feel like whenever you win the AEW title, like right on the inside of the belt is going to be like, he can never. It's like scratching on like a bathroom wall. It's like, Hangman can never have this. Like, every champion knows that. So it's like, no matter what he did, I'd be like, no, I remember you gave that up.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless you said, it's like, the only way it makes sense is if Swerve is champion. There you go.
Yeah, he goads him into
and he goads Swerve specifically into it. That works because that works.
That's some long-term booking.
That's some long-term booking.
Tony, don't steal this without giving us our compensation.
Exactly. So Swerve is gonna, and I even said that I was like, because Kenny's not gonna win the title right now. Kenny will win the title at the end of the year. So maybe it's like the biggest contender we'll have right now is Swerve going up against him, which he won't win.
Omega.
And then Omega.
Not Omega, Ospreay.
Ospreay will win.
Ospreay. Maybe Brody King?
Nah. Brody King's not winning. We got to keep it with the 4. Just the 4.
Lashley, if he
just
comes back?
4. No, just the 4 within the year. Ospreay beats MJF because that's a revival of their international feud. Omega beats Ospreay because that's a revival of their feud or whatever. Swerve loses
to Ospreay. No, Omega.
No, beats Omega or like, because this guy, like you said, you got to have like 2 years of like Hangman's not there. Maybe Fletcher. You got to elevate Fletcher or like whoever else is like top of the card. Takeshita. That's believable holding the title. And
maybe
then Okada's a good one. Great. Okada can beat. Oh yeah, Okada beats Omega for the AEW title. Of course, you can always just give me that. Swerve eventually, and then that's when you get Hangman at All In 2 years from now, and that's your next 4 champions. Long-term booking. All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, trademark that.
Yeah,
we have video live capture, so it's timestamped, so we know exactly when in life this moment actually occurred. And if we see it happen on television, Tony, we are suing your $1 billion ass.
Exactly.
No, we coming for that ass.
For ownership of the Jacksonville Jaguars specifically, because I'm a huge fan of them. So
yeah, I'd take it.
I'll take the NFL team.
There is a post that came out like because the Seahawks are being sold right now.
Yeah, sell high.
And it was a post that came out of like the last pricing that it was a team was sold, and it's like the New York Giants $100 in 1920.
Oh my God!
Arizona Cardinals $500.
Yeah, right.
1925. Like
because
Green Bay never sold. Pittsburgh never sold. It's like what?
That old money.
And AC Commanders is like $7 billion, $6.85 billion, 2023 or whatever. It's like, yeah, damn, bro.
Hey, the Mara family,
the Seahawks bought their team for like $175 million, and I'm looking at the post. I'm like, dog,
that's cheap as fuck.
I could easily get a loan for that and have bought an NFL team for $175 million compared to $6 billion.
Exactly.
That's way easier to be asking money for that.
Exactly.
Come on now.
So yeah, so it'll be Swerve and Hangman all in 2028 and Texas Death Match.
Owned by us.
Yeah, owned by us. Yeah. That's the booking. Or yeah, in 2028 or 2029, basically.
Mark Davis loses to Moxley in a Eliminator.
Yeah.
Continental match. To start off the show. I think again, great match.
It's fine. No story. It was just
using B Squad.
Yeah.
I like Mark Davis, but like, as far as again, that's why you got to detach from the Don Callis family because I'm like, there's tiers. We understand like this is Wu-Tang. There's the ODBs, the RZAs, the Jizzas, you know, and that's like the decks, and then there's the niggas that we don't know on the regular basis, like the general audience does not know.
And that's the thing that sucks is that because we clearly, I think he would be higher up there. I think he would be A tier within the Don Callis family as a tag team if his homie didn't just tear his pec or tricep or whatever.
Yeah.
Jake something or Jake. I forget. That's his name.
Jake. I
forget. Yeah, that was his name in TNA. Doyle. Thank you. Jack Doyle.
Jack Doyle.
Yeah.
Jake or Jack.
Jake Doyle. Either way. Yeah, but because I think they would be legit, absolute AEW champions or tag team champions specifically right now. I could see that for sure. And the last thing that I had up here would be the Brawling Birds debut. Just the unification of these British baddies, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. Just not to put them in shake because it was effectively enhancement talent that they went up against.
Yeah.
Like they weren't even a tag team. It was Becca and like Viva Van. I knew Viva Van because she's been on Ring of Honor.
Okay.
I didn't even know who Becca was. I was like, maybe she's Ring of Honor too. I'm not sure.
We saw this during, I guess it came out during a AEW house show, but the Inspiration, aka the Iconics, are all elite and made their debuts. We haven't seen them on officially. Maybe they might show on Collision tonight, but we haven't seen them officially on television on the AEW side. But yeah, the Inspiration are officially all elite. And so another group of women that are added to the tag team division. Yeah. So you got to imagine they're going to win those titles.
Oh, yeah, for sure. At some point in time.
Yeah,
they will.
So shout out to them. Glad to see you guys are, you were on television through AEW, through TNA, but this is obviously a little bit more of a prominent scale outside of the WWE, which I feel like eventually they can come back. Like, who doesn't like the Iconics? Who doesn't like the Inspiration? Right. Like, it's so classic.
Yeah, love it.
Iconic. Like, that's so good. Exactly. Like, what a gimmick. So, anything else from the coffee shop?
Nah, that's it.
Let's get into this book of wrestling. Book of Wrestling, 3 on the docket. I added one.
Yeah.
So all you had to do was add one of those. I'll start with the one that I added. February 18th, 2001. So about a month before the end of WCW as a company owned by Time Warner. AOL Time Warner. Kevin Nash, legendary Swerve against who do you face? Scott Steiner at Super Bowl Revenge, where he pulls up a legendary Swerve and births an iconic meme. So
the most simple camera trick.
Scott Steiner, this is what we grabbed from the text, but Scott Steiner retained the WCW World Heavyweight title against Kevin Nash in the main event in a 2 out of 3 falls count anywhere match and falls count anywhere retirement match. This would be the penultimate WCW pay-per-view event. The iconic meme I'm talking about is when Kevin Nash comes out in a wheelchair, flanked by 2 hot, sexy nurses. He looks like he's injured. He has his leg
like
up.
A broken ankle. He has a cast.
He has a blanket over it, and then he's supposed to have this match with Scott Steiner, and then Scott Steiner feels like he knows that he can't. Kevin Nash can't beat him. He's not even gonna try. It's funny, he did that before he even actually said the promo because I was in TNA. But regardless, but yeah, Kevin Nash swerves everybody, gets up, and you see that he is not injured, and the cast is fake. And we get a match. He technically wins that match within 19 seconds because he hits him with the title and pins him. Because it was originally supposed to be a one-on-one match, just a single fall. But Ric Flair is apparently CEO at this time. of WCW, and then he's sitting commentary, and then he's like basically adjusting the rules as we go. Instead of calls it a sort of 3 falls match, falls count anywhere, this, that, and the third. Eventually get Scott Steiner to
that's what the Young Bucks should have been
return.
doing. That's what I wanted. Like some just manipulative shit like that. That could be good booking.
I give you a whole unnecessary context because it's like it doesn't really matter because they're literally going to be bought the next month by WWE for like $2 billion. I think they bought it for like $1 million.
Yeah.
But the last month before, I didn't know this was the last month before they got bought.
This meme was born.
But this meme was born of Kevin Nash. Whenever you're trying to play somebody, he's like, "Yeah, I'll fake you out." You pulled this meme out. So shout out to that.
Yeah. To get to the first one of the two that I got, February 15th, 2004, we need no reminder, but it's so important that I'm going to remind you. Just the fact that it's Eddie Guerrero becoming the Triple Crown, or becoming a Triple Crown champion. Eddie Guerrero, at No Way Out, defeated Brock Lesnar in an upset victory for the WWE Championship. This one would make him a Triple Crown and Grand Slam champion. Also on the card, Eddie's nephew Chavo defeated Rey Mysterio for the WWE Cruiserweight title. So you got Los Guerreros both winning titles at No Way Out. The Guerrero family was extremely proud. And just legendary sequence to the end of this match. You know, we get the 3 amigos into an F5 attempt that or an F5 that hits, but also takes out the ref.
Yeah.
And then title shot, frog splash, 1, 2, 3, jumping in the crowd, all that good stuff. So
shout out to Eddie, one of my goats.
Yeah, for sure. And the second one that I got is February 19th, 2011, naming this Action Speaking Louder Than Words. In one of the most unique segments in Raw history, both The Undertaker and Triple H made their WWE returns and confronted each other, agreeing to a match at the upcoming WrestleMania. What was unique about the segment was that the whole thing played out without either wrestler or the announcers uttering a single word. That's really what it's about. I just be copying the whole paragraph. But I did go back and look at this. This is before, this would have been their second match at Mania because they wrestled at 17.
Yeah.
And this would have been the second one right after Undertaker retires Shawn. So, and then
that's why you could pull it off without having them say
exactly, because that's like super long-term booking, right? You know, because at that point you're a super vet, and we know that the Undertaker got one match a year, and that's it. You know, that's a very unique scenario that is gonna be like. That's why the Undertaker is the greatest character of all time. Like, he's the greatest character of all time, like the Undertaker. Sure. The fact that you can work a character
can go out anytime.
Exactly.
And it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the death toll, like just hearing that, like at Mania, like that's the only place you need to hear it. Like it's just like, oh shit. That's where stories are told. Like one time a year, I come in here for this, and
that's what makes wrestling so good.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the Book of Wrestling. I guess we're out of the Book of Wrestling, but slight TNA corner. I did notice that we should mention Ariana Grace is now the TNA Knockouts champion. Where I'm like, okay, man, this. Granted, Ariana is way more on TNA at this point. She's effectively TNA at this point,
and it makes sense. Like they're going against her father. You know, Stax is TNA. Like
he is no longer international champion. He lost to Steve Macklin. That was at the same. So she won the title, and he lost the title at the same.
Okay, so she's the breadwinner. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Now.
Okay.
And I remember seeing because there was a picture of them. Like the still is a picture of her, and then obviously Stax behind her. But there's another guy where I'm like, this dynamic it's pretty weird to me because now it's like I see her as the leader of the group, so it's like, is Stax a cuck now? Because she gets things her way, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the obviously OD X-rated job of kayfabe that I went to, but thought it was funny. Congratulations to her. But that's about the most interesting thing that's going on in TNA right now. Cool. No offense to anybody else on TNA,
Hey, they're still figuring it out, but they're still getting some ratings. They got
BDE.
They average around close to 300,000 on rating use.
I don't know if I've mentioned him at all, but BDE has brought. I don't know if he's brought their. I'm not going to say they brought their ratings up, but he is a huge signing for them. When it's like a guy like us who's just been like a wrestler, like literally documented wrestling YouTuber as a fan into I'm starting my wrestling career into now I'm signed with TNA.
Yeah.
And like up to this point, he's over like millions and millions. So he's made his money even prior to wrestling, but he just got signed there.
Yeah.
Within the
like
last
Logan Paul without like.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. He's like the face Logan Paul. That's exactly what he is without Disney Channel and all that extra shit. Yeah. So I know that's huge for him and them. Like I think that's kind of cool, you know. Almost like Devontae Yaps.
Okay.
You know, we talked about him, but we got to go into detail about Devontae Yaps. He talked his way into the industry, but that's it.
Let's get into the last show of the week, the Boutique SmackDown. We watched this live, and you got yours ahead of mine, so I'll just kind of go off what you wrote. I agree with you though. I think this was a big surprise. Kiana James getting the win over Charlotte and Nia in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. She snuck in at the last second to scoop Charlotte up on a backslide pin and got the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
it was a great match before that. They gave him time to wrestle through commercial break and after that. And so, again, everybody was putting on. Kiana's been really showing out the last, I guess it's the turn of the calendar.
Since they've been featuring her.
Yeah, and especially, she had a great Rumble experience. She's looking like she's carrying some weight on her side, not just Julia obviously having her match and being, United States Women's Champion. But I was thoroughly surprised that I thought this was, again, similar to Gunther, Jevon, and Dominic. I thought Charlotte was going to win this, especially with Alexa winning her qualifying match and continuing possibly their strife between possible, breakup. I thought Charlotte was going to win this, but no, I'm surprised that Kiana won this. I'm glad that she won this because she's been impressing me. And I'd like to see, like, again, do I think she's going to win Chamber? No, but I wouldn't be surprised that at a certain point she might end up winning World Championship.
This is where I obviously wholeheartedly agree. I put this in primo because, like, as we were watching it, I said outwardly to you, I was like, this match is way better than it has any business being. Like, and seeing Kiana work with both Charlotte and Nia, like, let alone it just being like obviously a surprise that we're expecting Charlotte to win this clearly, and it's like, yo, Kiana beat 20-time champions in this, combined 20-time.
Yeah.
14 and 6 on the other side, I'm pretty sure. So
I'd say Kiana is a dark horse for winning Money in the Bank.
I wouldn't be surprised if she wins it the next year. That would have to be a Money in the Bank if you're going to do it like that. Also, just a slight segue, I got to talk about the other women's match because it was great. Tiffany getting the W over Alba Fire because very similarly, where outwardly I commented on the wrestling as I try to let's let you know how I'm thinking. But during this, I was like, man, they need to give Alba some, or not more time, but like feature her more. When I'm like, every time she gets in there, I'm just reminded of like, oh yeah, this is when you mean like a good set of hands, because it makes Tiffany look so freaking good. Where I said freaking like I'm a white kid in the suburbs or something. But like both the Alba Fire and Kiana James on this episode, their ratings went up for me as effectively as what I'm just trying to say. And although the match conclusion was foregone because it's Tiffany Stratton, of course she ain't gonna lose. It was still so good that usually I would say the level of character like that Alba Fire is, this match would be shake because it would be like effectively like jobber ranking versus former champion, but the match quality of Alba Fire is just way too good for you to like leave it there. And it's just like, oh yeah, she's one of those where it's like she's been working since, I think she's Scottish, right, or something. She's actually been wrestling since she was like 9 or some shit, you know. So it's like she's like Natty in a different way,
She's Becky. Or
I said that comparison because she's a good set of hands, like Natty. It's just like she's not featured the way she should be. But Kiana James and Alba Fire went up, and getting a a win for Kiana is crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy.
I don't agree with this, but you're biased. Obafemi getting the win over Kit Wilson in another squash match.
You don't agree with it being mid?
No, it's shake
Oh, okay.
at best.
Yeah.
I'm not even putting it on my card. Maybe.
Oh man, come on, dude. Yeah, you'd see.
I enjoy both characters, but like as far as like
The
watching
poetry.
it, I'm like,
Wait, did it happen already?
what?
Obafemi and Kit Wilson interaction.
This is the third time they fought. This is the second time they fought. They've
Oh,
already
second time. Yeah.
They've already had interactions. Like
See,
they had one
well,
last
yeah,
week.
no, not interact. Or yeah, I meant in ring. So you're saying this is
This is
the second
time they
match.
fought. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm fine with keeping it in mid. It'll be shake next time.
Okay.
I'll bust it down next time, but it's the
Hey,
gimmicks
you're
too.
biased. You're biased for Kit. Like I get it.
No, I think of both
like
of them.
Kit.
I don't want to say
I'm
I'm
a
just
fan of Kit.
biased, of course, but you're a fan of Kit too. I mean, and obviously we're both fans of Oba. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that mechanically on the show you're featuring a guy who you want to feature, obviously going after the top title very soon, and a guy who we're just rolling with for the heat right now, that's just good booking. You know what I'm saying? Like you're giving the people what they want at that point in time. So there's no wasted motion in this. Even if you give this to me 2 weeks in a row, I'm fine. You do it 3 weeks in a row, all right, you got to get inventive. At least we got poetry in this one. You know what I'm saying? Like Oba was like, as I told you before, he's like, oh, this is funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Read another one. And he's like, oh, I only had one prepared. And then obviously ass whooping commences. But I also, if you'll point out, you know, I do rank them the way I try to. It's the lowest mid on the mid rankings. So whereas Oba, I believe if you look back last week, I might have had at least up higher in the mid ranking, if not at the top. So I'm acknowledging it. I try to keep that detail, you know, just top to bottom, how I actually care about it.
Yeah, I try to as well. Yeah.
But the best mid that I had, we agreed on this, I'm sure. The Cody, Jacob, and Drew start of the show. I had this as a mid.
Yeah, I put this up to mid, I think.
Because they literally listened to you. They took our episode from last week and was like, man, all right, quit bitching, Samson. And they put Drew up in the rafter, up in the skybox, like you just said.
I'm glad they did that. It looks good. And the interaction between him and Jacob, I thought the reason I put this mid is primarily Jacob and Drew. And that interaction and Drew being of the skybox and all that. That was great. Cody, rinse, wash, repeat. Like, you know.
I think it's great for him because in the sense, like, I mean, he's doing his job, like, still just staying next to the title, you're elevating it, right? When you're the top guy, let alone Jacob. You're dragging Jacob up. You don't need Drew as much in a sense. I mean, he's a made man, 3-time champion. But we know that, you know, QB1, to use his analogy, and now he's got the damn, you know, the captain logo, like they got on, you know, the NFL. Like he's really leaning into this on his jacket, which you said was fire too, like that jacket. That he's just important. He's still the guy that you want to be possibly in this 3-way at Mania. You know what I'm saying? So if that makes it more realistic that Jacob can win the title, I think so.
I don't know if he wins the title, but I do think maybe we lead to being healed because Cody came off pretty aggressive, as you could say he's brutally honest, and it's like it's your fault. Or no, he said that to Sammy.
Yeah, he said that to Sammy. Yeah.
Cody's been showing a little bit more, I wouldn't say heel tendencies, but he's been a little bit more off-putting than he typically is, coming off as like a clean-cut babyface. I'm like, bro, you can see why reasons people would cheer against Cody.
Yeah. And for Jacob, the only thing it's fine storyline wise, because it is what I thought it was when he comes in and interferes in the steel cage match. And you're like, what the hell? Why he beat up Cody? And it's like, he wasn't after Cody. He was just tweaking because he comes in and says, I ain't got no beef with you, really. You was in the way. And it's exactly what I thought it was. Because it's like Drew was the one that took out Jacob. That's what we're doing.
Maybe that's what he thinks, but maybe it was Cody.
You crazy.
I'm not putting that down. All right. Your last shake. Jay still says nothing in her promos.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. That's why it's shake, because where I was, and I told you I like the booking of like she should just show up and be very not short-tempered, but she should be like you know, speak softly and carry a big stick. She don't need to talk because the presence does it for. So like when you come out and talk and you just say the same stuff, you ain't doing nothing for me. So it's like say something else. Like, and this is still
I think part of this is more of creative because apparently word on the street is that they're still undecided on who
she's gonna go up against
WrestleMania 42, and word on the street it's either gonna be Tiffany or Charlotte. Maybe it's just because she's in limbo. That's why she's just coming out there, just like, don't forget me, as far as like WWE's concerned.
Yeah.
And like her being a presence and someone that you want to see on a weekly basis, that you just have her go out there and just cut a promo that really doesn't speak to anything, is because creatively they're in limbo trying to figure out whether it's going to be Tiffany or Charlotte. We saw Charlotte Charlotte and Jade have an interaction prior to Charlotte coming out for her chamber match, but obviously she didn't win that. So
exactly. Tiffany's the one in the chamber. That's where I'm like, yeah, it's Tiffany right now because it's Tiffany, Asuka. We need to look at the card.
Yeah.
But I know there's 5 of the 6 are figured out already.
I think maybe I have like one more match that might happen on Monday to determine that. But anything else from SmackDown?
No, that is that for me.
Let's get into our champions of the week.
Actually, last thing I will say.
Yeah.
SmackDown probably was show of the week. Let me look back. Because, Raw got... Actually, yeah, you're right. The subtitles drags up Raw. Raw was show of the week. Okay. Because it was just that AEW was so low that I was just like, all right, like, it was obvious to me that I'm like, okay.
Even with they gave you the best wrestling of the show of the week.
With that one match, but that one match isn't gonna save you. Like
one match with some story driven context too.
It is. But I like you got to spread the wealth better, more than
Fair enough. Not gonna argue.
Yeah, because you gave me you argued that Asuka.
There's 52 weeks. You could lose one.
Exactly. And then going by your logic, Asuka was a surprise. I would say no, but Jevon definitely is a surprise.
Yeah.
And like I said, subtitles. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just keep using subtitles. That's it. Just for anybody foreign, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? If they're in the arena and they can't figure it out, oh well. Like they're fans. They paid to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like
they got it screen up. They show you what it is, so they can easily.
Yeah.
Champions of the week. You have one listed. I don't have one, but I have one.
All right, go ahead. You tell me yours.
Mine goes back to the Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry promo where Ricky Saints was standing on, I guess, the elevated platform in the stands. I don't know what you call that. But it goes
the balcony.
Yeah, the balcony, and I'm going to give them the FedEx Field hand railing falling on Jalen Hurts because he didn't have one.
Oh, yeah.
It was just one little linky, like small links chain that I'm like, okay, he eventually like stepped over it, but I'm like, bro, like that is so dangerous.
Yeah. That's
not the same to have like quality hand railing to protect your wrestler.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Standing up there and possibly like losing a step and falling over and busting themselves over. So like I give them the FedEx Field, Daniel Snyder era hand railing that nearly people say killed Jalen Hurts, but and I'm like, that's over exaggeration, but nearly severely injured Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. No, I get you. It's funny because that's the same, that balcony area, that's the same area that Blake Monroe. She was like, put the spotlight where it's supposed to be. And she will have the railing up there. So yeah,
I think it was meant for him to like step over it, but I'm like, that little chain is not gonna hurt. It's not helping anybody from falling over. Y'all need something better, like actual pipes.
Yeah.
Like actual railing that goes around to protect these people. But yeah, that was my champion of the week.
Yeah, this is just a 10-second clip. This is obviously just for you. I know you haven't seen the movie, but my champion of the week is the Brad Pitt from Seven. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the fucking box? There you go. Title. And this is just going to WWE. I guess this would go to the general managers, both Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, because we see the mystery box, which is supposed to be delivered. Elimination Chamber.
It's supposed to be opened.
Opened Elimination Chamber. So a week from today, 2:28, and on Monday, Adam Pearce sees it, and he's like, send it to SmackDown, put it back up on the crate, like make this Aldis's problem. And that's the mystery box that we got to look forward to.
Because I envy your normal life. Seems that envy is must.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I gotta watch that to get the full context. Of
exactly.
That scene,
What's in the fucking box? So I'm
gonna
looking at.
I think it's Jericho. I agree with Kaz. I think it's a button that starts a countdown clock for Jericho.
That
like
would
I
be-
said
Yeah,
last week, Jericho original debut in the WWE was in Chicago. This is in Chicago.
yeah.
Last time we saw a debut in Chicago was who? CM Punk.
Mhm.
You get Jericho to debut, possibly screw Finn Balor out of that match, maybe instead of Roman Reigns, like I predicted probably earlier in the show. Maybe it's Jericho. Maybe they open it. Maybe Adam Pearce, a dumbass, for some reason opens it and pushes the button during the goddamn championship match.
Yeah, and it's like T-5 minutes. So that would be fire, actually. Like you said, during the match, we just because this is what I've told you this before. Another top shelf thing is editing. If I'm in the room,
30 seconds, probably, yeah.
On pay-per-view, give us like these little segments. Like it's still a show. Like all the wrestlers are back there. So the fact that it's like, okay, specifically we had to open it at Elimination Chamber here, like that would be dope. And then it's like
he
5 minutes.
He pushes the button at the beginning of the episode, and then
or at the beginning of the show,
it goes off at the end during the chamber match.
Exactly.
Or not the chamber match, but the Finn Balor CM Punk match.
Exactly.
And then it's Jericho, and then he comes out and ends up costing what you call it.
I like it. I don't know
Finn
what else are they other wrestling corners are saying Danhausen.
Okay.
Danhausen, which he was an AEW signee.
Yeah, he's a mime.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I could see that as like a jokey joke just cause debut. You know what I'm saying? Like to get a character over.
Where does he debut though?
Huh?
Where does he debut? Like what match if he's jumping into a match?
Oh yeah, this is Chamber.
You have 2 chamber matches. You have AJ.
You're right. That doesn't
Becky,
fit to be Danhausen.
Yeah.
Danhausen is like he's such an indie guy that it's like that's so specific. You're right. It can't be Danhausen.
He's probably NXT
for sure. I would put him in NXT or like he's a comedy guy. Like he's
you
at the level.
You can't put him straight on main roster because you got to develop that character for the WWE audience. Not necessarily him, but like for the audience that's probably not used to it.
He's a very nuanced character, because he's a heel, but he's very nice and very evil. I like that, But that's my champion of the week. What's in the box? Brad Pitt. Both the general managers getting that because they wondering, but they're not curious enough to open it. So
hey, it tells you don't open it till this date. You gotta abide by the rules.
Yeah.
But that is episode 85 of the Wrestling Re-Up podcast. We've made it under 2 hours. So maybe your belief that just because we're in person, our shows are a little bit shorter because we don't have the opportunity to go through and browse the internet at the same time holds true. Where can they find us, Moody?
Here at this YouTube channel every Saturday in the afternoonish time. There you go. We be around that.
We need to be more exact on that and set a standard of we're starting at this specific time. We were once good, but we end up crashing late.
Yeah, exactly. It threw us off. But we'll get back on it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe here at this YouTube channel. Send us an email at thewrestlingreup@gmail.com.
We'll catch y'all next week for Elimination Chamber
and episode 86.
Episode 86. I was about to say 86 predictions.
Yeah.
Peace out.